The Escorts is the company that we have in focus. They have entered into a joint venture with Japan's Tadano Group, and this is for high-capacity mobile cranes. Escorts is expected to own 49% stake in this, a total investment quantum of 60 crore rupees. We have Bharat Madan, the Group CFO, joining in with more details. Mr. Madan, thanks very much for joining us. First off, if I may ask you to walk us through the details of this joint venture and really the rationale behind going for this.
Well, I think as we've been talking about the past also, the company is trying to move up the value chain and the kind of equipment which we make. So rather than going into the low-end equipment, where we don't see the major contribution of margin coming up, and also looking at the India infrastructure needs, we think this is the time to go for the high-end equipment, and which is where the JV is actually there. So we're starting in the JV, it's a 51-49 JV, with the Escorts will hold 49%. I start with an initial capital of 60 crores, which will be basically meant for introducing two product categories, the left hand cranes and the truck cranes, which will be introduced in India, which will range from 20 to 80 ton category. And generally, as the JV progresses, they'll look at introducing more products in the Indian market in the long term.
All right, fair enough. So that is a JV with Japan's Tadano Group. Of course, higher capacity mobile cranes is what we're looking at here. Like Mr. Madan said, 49% is what Escorts will own in this joint venture entity, and that is for a total consideration and investment amount of 60 crore rupees. It is to introduce rough terrain cranes and truck mounted cranes as well. And of course, like Mr. Madan was just telling us, it's in order to take a leading position in high tonnage crane segment in the medium to long term going ahead as well. They expect production as well to commence, going ahead in the third quarter. Faridabad is the place. We'll of course try and understand a few more details about that from Mr. Madan shortly. Their volumes, if we talk about the construction equipment volumes that we saw in the first quarter, it saw an uptick of about 51.8%, nearly 52% growth coming in for that segment alone. Of course, once we see this start contributing, I'm sure that number will be taken higher. About 1,345 units is what we saw in the first quarter. In fact, Mr. Madan, what are the sort of synergies that you see coming in from this joint venture? And if we talk about production capacity, how much is this joint venture likely to add?
Well, I think these are the high-end cranes which you're talking about. So I think capacity is not really constant. We can produce capacity as much as required. Basically, the strategy will be how much demand can be there in the market. Today, the market for these cranes is about 400 crores. And as the Indian needs are growing, so the market is also expanding. So we'll build capacity as the time requires going forward.
All right, and I understand that you expect production to commence in the third quarter, and this will be based out of Faridabad. Which are the markets that you can expect, that we can expect these vehicles to be supplied to?
So all major projects, I think, with oil refineries, ports, airports, metro projects, I think all big construction companies, they use this equipment. So right now, many of these equipments are being imported in India. There are few players who are actually making it. So this is the reason why we thought this is a good opportunity for us to enter into the segment.
In fact, in the first quarter, we saw about 52% growth come in the construction equipment space. What really is the sense that you have so far if we talk about the second quarter?
The second quarter is normally the weak quarter because the monsoon period for construction activity doesn't really happen at the same pace. But we expect to be very strong second half this time. So October onwards, I think the period we will look at really good growth numbers coming in. We're given a guidance of 15-20% growth in construction on a full year basis, and we expect that growth can get surpassed.
All right. So then where do you see the share really coming in of construction equipment to the overall mix then? What kind of a boost are we looking there? Will it be significant?
No, it may not really make much difference because all these sectors in which we are present are growing. So there's railway, construction, or factories, so all these sectors are doing well this year. So we don't think really major significant segments are happening this year. Maybe 1% here and there, not beyond that.
All right. Overall then, Ms. Madan, while we have you with us, if you talk about fiscal 19, what are the trends that you're seeing on the ground at the moment? Overall, how is the outlook looking to you as we speak? Because we're nearly halfway through the year at the moment.
See, for tractor, obviously the agriculture sector, we're looking at very good growth coming in on the ground. So everybody expects the third quarter is going to be very strong and very bullish. So overall full year, this is already given a guidance of 12 to 15% increase happening in the industry numbers this time. So that guidance also looks like it could be maintained. And same way in railways also, we're looking at 20% plus growth happening this year with a good margin expansion happening. So that's another positive sign, I think, which is there. Construction, we already turned around last year, and this year again we expecting 4 to 5% operating margin to be delivered on this segment. So I think all three sectors are looking good, and the margin was also company has given a guidance of 100 basis points improvement over last year, and that guidance remains intact as of now.
All right, we'll leave it at that. Thanks very much for joining in, really helping us understand the contours of this new joint venture that has been signed by Escorts with a Japanese company. That's Bharat Madan Group CFO.